So we all know that Yella Beezy has since been arrested for the murder of MOE3 on the highway 4 years ago. His bail was set at $2 million. Now we're hearing that it's been reduced to $750,000. But in court, while he was in court, they were showing a video of the unaliving of MOE3 on the highway. I just, when I watch this video, I just don't understand why he just didn't keep driving. Why did he stop and run around the side of the car to look for something? But he didn't stop. I mean, he just kept going. I mean, he just could have kept going. He would still be here rapping, touring the world, doing whatever. But let's revisit the video. Check this out.
This is, just for context, this is approximately noon on I-35 heading northbound. This video is taken from a Kroger 18-wheeler, and this is heading north I-35 into downtown Dallas on noon on November 11th, 2020. Now, Your Honor, if I could draw the court's attention, if you look on the, I've stopped this video at 19 seconds. You see a gold sedan in the far left lane and a black sedan in the second lane to the left. The gold sedan will be the vehicle carrying the victim, and the black sedan is the vehicle driven by Q1 White, who is then the shooter, based off of the evidence we have. Your Honor, I'm going to stop this at 1 minute and 37 seconds. The victim does not return into the frame. The only other things that the state would like to proffer as far as this bond hearing.
So when you watch that video, like I said, it's brazen, it's broad daylight on the highway. This guy got an assault rifle where he's chasing MOE3 down. And the way you can, when you watch the video, you see the car driving real fast, and it rides past him and it spins out. MOE3 is in the car behind him. He runs around the side of the car to try to get to his firearm, but it's not there. By that time, the guy's is on his butt. It's on his behind. He chased him down, and I asked the video out. You don't get a chance to see that part, but then you get a chance to see him running back to his car, with that thing in his hand. Man, it gets crazy, right? But Yella Beezy is in court, and he's, basically he's getting a bond hearing, and he's saying, listen, he basically got nothing to do with it. There's nothing connecting him to this, right? And they're saying that Q1 White, he's not the one telling. Brown is the one taking a stand and going to be the one that's willing to tell. Check this out.
Took place in the days following Mr. Noble's murder in November of 2020. The state's witness will testify to the individuals present and involved in this conversation. The state's witness will also testify to Marquise Conway, the defendant, being present and involved in this conversation. The state's witness will testify to the amount of money that was to be paid for the murder. A state's witness will testify to the individuals responsible for the payment. That state's witness will also testify that Marquise Conway was one of the individuals responsible for a portion of that payment. A state's witness will also testify to the individual who would receive this payment. The state's witness will testify that Q1 White was, in fact, the individual to receive this payment, who was originally indicted in State's Exhibit Number 1, the probable cause, which is before this court. The state's witness would also testify that Q1 White, or to who shot and killed Melvin Noble. This witness would also testify to Q1 White being the individual who shot and killed Mr. Noble on November 11th of 2020. Again, this conversation took place in the days following Mr. Noble's murder. The state has also had an opportunity to review bank records of the defendant, Marquise Conway. These records would show that the defendant drew $40,000 in the days following the murder of Melvin Noble. And for the record, that was a cash withdrawal. These records would correspond to the exact amount which the state's witness would testify to. In reviewing these records, the state also became aware and believed that they would show that the defendant had anywhere between $800,000 and $900,000, but more specifically, $870,000 between a checking account and a savings account with one particular bank. $370,000 of which was in a checking account, a little over $500,000 which was in a savings account. The state at this time would like to publish to the court what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 3, which is the video of the offense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, before that's published, could I just address something with the prosecutor and the proffer? Sure. It's clear from the record that as he recited, the state's witness, his proffer is, that's just one witness, not multiple witnesses. And that I don't recall if the specific in the proffer was when the date that this witness reported that he was conversation.
I do not have the specific date written down, but I know it was in the days following the offense. We do have evidence of when this could have taken place based off of cell phone data of when the defendant was in another state and then we came back to Texas. So we believe we have a time frame. As far as the exact date, I do not have it this time. Of course, since the grand jury referral. Defendant Kewan White was also indicted. You do have his murder probable cause affidavit from 2020. He was also indicted at that same time in cause number F2175377 for Dr. Randall Graham, who also sustained injuries, a neurosurgeon who was heading north on I-35 that day and was struck as well. However, he did survive. And finally, Your Honor, the last thing that I would proffer at this time would be that there were a total of 44 fired cartridge casings, all from the same style of firearm as far as the caliber that were recovered on the freeway on November 11, 2020.
We're asking you to reduce this bond to an appropriate amount where you can abide by the conditions and come to court and we can fight this case.
Thank you. State.
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. In regards to an individual's ability to pay the bond, Ms. Alexander testified specifically that she is not involved in her grandson's business and doesn't keep up with his financial stuff. So she really was not in a position to testify what he can and what he cannot afford. She did testify to the fact that he is a double platinum, I believe as recently 2 weeks ago, recording artist, that he travels a quarter of the month, that he lives in a mansion in Frisco, that he drives a Denali, a bulletproof Denali, which also will lead into safety concerns. So the only thing that the court has as far as ability to pay or not to do it, or not having an ability to pay this bond, is the bank records which I proffered to the court, as well as his own grandmother saying that he's a successful artist living in a mansion up in Frisco that flies on private jets and travels. The important thing about the Denali is not just the fact of the cost and all that, but it's the fact that when we're talking about safety concerns for the community, one of the factors that the court should take into consideration is if this individual were to get out, is there a viable safety concern? The fact that the defendant has a bulletproof vehicle and drove one at the time and was arrested in it 8 days ago, that should tell you all you need to know. And that's not just based off of pure jealousy. Your Honor has been doing this long enough to know that is based off of something much greater than just pure jealousy.
Another concern I had was the financial statement that the defendant was to put on file. He didn't seem to take that very seriously at all. And that causes me a concern about whether or not he's taking seriously the allegations against him. So I am going to set the bond at $750,000 with the bond conditions that were already set. But included on that, I want it to be very clear, Mr. Conway, that you are to have no contact, direct or indirect, no threatening or harassment of any victim witness, co-defendant, if it's you or anybody on your behalf, there's going to be a problem. Do you understand that? Okay, you all can stand on top of it. So that's going to be a concern. And then I want to make sure that you provide the court with correct information regarding your person of contact, because basically this affidavit seemed to be your way of saying forget y'all. I don't want you to open your mouth. Yeah. Seemed to be your way of saying forget y'all. So you need to provide correct, accurate information regarding who is your person of contact should there be any type of problem. I hope that you're taking this seriously because your responses in this affidavit kind of indicate that you're not. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, you're Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So Yella Beezy, you know, and trying to get out, he's hired one of the best lawyers in all of the state of Texas. You know, he has, this lawyer got MVPs, you know, for multiple years of service and putting in that work, right? He's hired Toby Shook, criminal defense. Toby Shook has tried more than 300 jury trials during his career, which now spans 3 decades. After unprecedented work with the DA's Dallas office, right, where he tried high-profile cases such as the Texas 7 escapees, serial killer Charles Albright and Darrell Rudier. Shook entered private practice to represent those accused of wrongdoing by state and federal authorities. His trial experience encompasses everything from DWI, theft, assault, murder, and sex crimes to drug offenses and organized crime. Shook is an aggressive trial lawyer known for relentless pre-preparation, skillful cross-examination, and passionate arguments. A bonus for clients during police and grand jury investigations, plea negotiations, and trial. Man, this guy is known for putting in work. You know, he's been the best lawyers in Dallas in 2024, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 9. Like, this guy is the real deal and known for putting in work. And I will say, if you out there talking that talk on records, you out there claiming to be a real N-word in the streets, you better have the money to defend yourself when the flip side come knocking, right? So don't be trying to be a real N-word or a gangster, and when you in trouble, you ain't got the money to get yourself out of trouble. So he had enough money to hire this lawyer to come, to come rescue him. Well, let's check out what the news is saying, right? What the Dallas News is saying about the situation. Check it out.
A local rapper charged for a rival rapper's murder had his bond reduced today from $2 million to $750,000.
The bond hearing was this morning for Yella Beezy, whose real name is Marquise Conway. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in studio now with the details on this. Sean.
Conway's been indicted on capital murder with remuneration, meaning he paid for someone to kill rival rapper Melvin Noble, known in the music world as MOE3. 44 bullet casings were recovered from Interstate 35 November 11th, 2020. When MOE3 was gunned down.
Where he has paid another man to hunt down and kill somebody in broad daylight.
Marquise Conway, double platinum recording artist, Yellow Belly, shackled in court as video from a dash camera played for the court how Melvin Noble lost his life in November 2020 on Interstate 35. Trapped in traffic and seeing a gunman, later identified as Keon White, Noble got out of his car on the interstate. At the passenger side, he's looking for something, maybe a gun of his own. It's not there. He falls, crawls, and runs, chased down by the masked gunman. Prosecutor Tommy Adams told Judge Gracie Lewis the state has a witness who will testify Conway, Yella Beezy, was part of a conversation about the payment for Melvin Noble's murder and that he withdrew $40,000 from an account days after the murder.
That state's witness will also testify that Marquise Conway was one of the individuals responsible for a portion of that payment.
Prosecutor Adams argued Beezy, who lives in a Frisco mansion, drives a bulletproof Denali for a reason, and, according to 2020 bank records, had $870,000 in a checking and savings account in one bank, should not have his bond lowered. He questioned Conway's grandmother, a retired Dallas County courts clerk.
You'd agree with me that your grandson is substantially well off, correct?
He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out.
Would you agree with me, though, that there's a difference between can, want to, and choosing not to?
I'm aware of all of those things, but I know he don't want to be in here, so I know if he could afford it, he'd be out.
Defense attorneys John Guccio and Toby Shook told the judge the state has not connected Beezy to any murder for hire.
You've received no information of a text message, any message on social media platform that our client paid for this murder, any type of remuneration, no recording of any sort, just this person who came forward and said he overheard this conversation.
The judge lowering the bond by more than $1 million to $750,000, but gave Conway a stern warning.
I hope that you're taking this seriously because your responses in this affidavit kind of indicate that you're not. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the judge referencing the financial affidavit every defendant must complete to give to the court and give them an idea of what kind of bail they can afford. It's supposed to show all your debt and all your income. Kewan White, the man charged with MOE3's murder, is currently in federal prison on a gun charge, serving a 9-year sentence.
I will say this, right, to a lot of you young guys out there. What's the silver lining in this message and what can you learn from it, right? So you got MOE3, you got Yella Beezy, Kewan White, and all these guys involved. And these are the known names. But after MOE3 was unalive, we heard that there was other people unalive. There was also a comedian, another guy named Hernandez. All these people was unalive in this situation, right? They online telling their business. Everybody want to be gangsters and real N-words. Where do they get you? In the ground or in jail? And most of y'all that get locked up ain't got no lawyer money. You ain't got no bail money. You just sitting in there, right? So it don't pay. It don't pay to do none of that. They got cameras everywhere. They're going to see you and they're going to catch you. You are not committing crimes and getting away. Everything now is on a grid. They got you. They got this whole thing on camera. When them guys committed that act and jumped back in the car and drove to where they drove, all that stuff is on camera. So the urban criminals obsolete. They don't need you no more. They gentrifying you out of everything. And you still want to be a real N-word. Why? Why? There's no money in that. So the choice is yours, man. So now Yella Beezy spent all that time trying to be a gangster. Now he's crying to the court to let him out. It's all fake. All for what? He not being a gangster now while he in that courtroom. So what are you doing it for? And it's costing him a whole bunch of money he shouldn't have to spend. So like I always say, man, I'm going to cut this video short here, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, man. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, man. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.